Okay, it's very interesting. Means why I given this name to digesting JQuery. I given this name digesting JQuery because JQuery is such a framework. It is very easy to write code, very flexible. So any day, any time you can learn jQuery, you can write any code, and unfortunately whatever code you write, it runs, it never fails, unless until is there any syntax error. So it is very easy to write jQuery code, and therefore it's very easy to make mistakes. Okay, and jQuery is such a library, it has thousands of functions. And when I started jQuery, even that time I didn't know all the functions. So sometime I guessed some function, I tried it and it runs. So it is so easy, like I guessed this may be the function, and when I try it, it runs. So even nowadays I don't know all the functions jQuery provides. So for a single thing, there are hundreds of functions available and hundreds of ways you can write the same code. But if you write the same code in 100 ways, so there may be chances like that it can, so all these 100 lines can have some differences. Okay, so otherwise if you write the same thing in 100 ways and 100 ways works, so there may be some differences. So maybe one is better and other is not better as per that other one. So we will be seeing all these things, and in this session I am not going anything complicated or difficult. I am going to discuss the thing you already know it, and I am going to saying that you are just knowing the known thing again. But here I am going to show you some coding and some performance testing as well. Okay, so let's start. So you see this image, this is saying be strong enough. That means, you know, jQuery has a 2 lines of releases. You know, there is 1 dot star and 2 dot star. And do you know what is the difference? 1 dot star and 2 dot star. There is 2 versions. So 2 dot star support all the real browser. Do you know what is real browser? Nowadays we call those browsers a real browser or modern browser, which really supports HTML5 and CSS3. But unfortunately all older IEs doesn't support it. And really coding on IE is means developer nightmare. But we don't have any other way. We need to do such coding which will run on Internet Explorer as smoothly as it's run on other browser. Because unfortunately most of the end user are using IE. So things like that 2 dot star supports all the real browser which supports CSS3 and HTML5. But those 2 doesn't support on older IE like IE afterwards or before that IE8. So onwards IE9 supports the 2 dot version, but IE8 it doesn't. So I suggest like that your web page you should use the latest version, because latest is the strongest, more errorless and more powerful and more functionality. But now the question is like that, how you use this, how you decide like your user will be using older IE or some good browser, you don't know. So you need to use a version which can run on all the browsers. So you will be stick on 1 dot version, 1 dot star. So you will never use 2 dot star. But here also you can decide. You can decide like you can check that your browser really supports those, and from that detecting that browser you can include that what version is compatible with. So on the browser how I can detect means which version it will support. Any idea? No? Means do you able to understand, means do you able to rectify that, means my browser going to support which version or not? Okay. So we can do it in from some older days coding. Okay, you are seeing this code. This is commented conditions. You know, commented conditions. So here I use, you see, if lt I9 means if it is less than I9, I will be using 1 dot star version. Then I write if GTA I9, if it is greater than I9, then I will be using 2.1 star version. Then what is my condition for other Mozilla Chrome where? It's, I write the condition for 2 conditions, if condition. One is I less than 9 or I greater than equal to 9. Then what is the condition? Then for Mozilla Chrome, my jQuery will not be included? Is that the case? Again, the interesting part. This commented condition is invited by the Microsoft and it only supports by IE. No other browser can read those. So that if IELT, all these things are right, other browser treat those as a garbage. Even IE10 doesn't support it nowadays. Now Internet Explorer getting advanced. So even Internet Explorer doesn't understand those. Internet Explorer 10. So those two lines they will be treating as garbage. Now the question is, if those two lines treating as garbage, and if I have those two lines, then if I open the page on Mozilla, then what happen? My browser will be end up loading jQuery twice. It will be loading 1.11.2, then it will be loading 2.1.3. Second one also commented. If and else. But that will be Mozilla will not understand. Mozilla will not understand if else.
It will not read the comment.
What will be reading?
Only the script tag which is not commented.
Both are, you see, both if else started with comment and both ending with the commenting. So Mozilla will not understand it, and so Mozilla will be loading two versions. Now you know, if in my page, if I have multiple versions of jQuery, then what happens? The last one is the last one will be override all the previous one. So in my case, it will be 2.1, but that is also not good for the web page, because same thing it is loading twice. So my page load time will be increased obviously. Okay. Now, so that's why you see that two lines. If condition you say there is a difference. That if condition are right, first if it doesn't end with any comment again, but second line it starts with a comment again. So it will be coming like this. The first one you see. So it doesn't read, so it is starting the commenting. So first script tag will be, that is the commenting, means that is HTML commenting. So HTML commenting every browser will understand. So when it's Mozilla will understand that exclamatory sign, then 2 does. Then after that whatever I written, Mozilla will not understand it. So Mozilla will ignore it. Then it is ending. So that first script will be in the commented tag. And second one, you see, I have commented I, then again I end that commenting. So when I is processing, I will start processing after it, I will ignore it, but Mozilla will not be ignoring it. So that comment, that I thing will be completely one comment line, then my script size is uncommented. Again the next line is else, that end if is the commented. So Mozilla will get the, or other browser will get the latest one. So this is a smart thing, you can use that one. So you will never have problem. Or if you have an older I just evaluate the two if else and it will be end up like this. Single line. Okay. So this is one way you can, means you can rely on browser, and browser will automatically include the version it is compatible with. Okay. Now there is a long debate, like when we use all these libraries, it is good to load from CDN or from local version. What is better? Okay, everyone says like a CDN. Okay. Now if CDN is down, then
we should have a backup, like if CDN is down, means we can check like whether jQuery is initialized or not. Then we can load from local.
yes, so if you have the fallback. So when you are loading, better option always get it from the CDN. But though CDN is from different server, different URL, you don't have control over there. You don't know when it will be up, when it will be down. So better to have a backup, like if CDN is down, so at least you pick up your jQuery version from your local. So how you can do it? So this is like that. I just added it from that UC CDN. Then I write window.jQuery. So window.jQuery, if you may write, jQuery is the object. So it will give you true or false. So if window.jQuery or document.write. So here is my fallback code. So if it is not included, jQuery will not be available in my page, and that time I am writing just document.write script tag, and I am including it from the local. So better go for CDN and then have a fallback for your local copy. Okay. Now this is the biggest thing. So if you treat your web page as a human body, okay, think like your page is a human body, and all the code you write is like treated as a food to your web page. Okay. So think like that, if your web page is hungry, you can give any food to the web page, so it will just help the web page to reduce the hunger. But do you think that web page able to digest that food? Like a person come from Chinese and at the lunch I give him a Hyderabadi biryani. What happened? That person is not habituated with that food. So easily he can have that food, but it is not good for his health. So same way, when you write some jQuery code, it runs, it never fails. But do you think it is good for the page? So things like that. If you have a bad food, so this is the side effects what you can have. This is the side effects. So same as when you write the bad code, web page also suffer like this. So we will see means how we improve our code for the basic level. Okay. So first thing is the selector. So in the jQuery code, whatever we want to do, we need a selector, and selector is the most important thing. Okay. So there is a rank of selector. The first selector is the ID selector. So I should suggest every time you write code, you go for the ID selector. But when you needs to run the same code for multiple elements, then ID selector will not work, because in HTML more than one element cannot have same ID. Even if you have the ID, HTML is not going to complain you, but your code will not run. It will run for the first element have the ID. So the second first selector is the tag selector. Tag means like mentioning tr, td, all these HTML tag. And then the third selector is the class selector. Third first step. So when you use the class selector, you use the context. You know the context. Context means when you use class selector, you mention like some group of HTML element, you have that class. But you want to run some code out of some specific group. Okay. So you just mention, okay, maybe I have a div, I have a span, and both have same class, but I want to run the code for div. So I mention div dot my class. So that is the context. Okay. So the same second line you see, only use class selector with context name like div dot my class. Then we write that pseudo selectors. Okay. Pseudo selectors, and that is the thing. Do you know, anyone know Sigil engine? Okay, that is, it was a different project from the jQuery, that is called Sigil engine, and they keep it separated. Sigil engine is that engine which pass all the pseudo selector to run it. Okay, so it is work same as like CSS. In the CSS3, how we write the code like tr, td dot, all the sign, first, last, all these things. So Sigil engine also support the same for the jQuery. So whenever you write these pseudo selectors, all those selectors pass through the Sigil engine. So unless, means if you have the ID selector, class selector, those selectors never pass through the Sigil engine. So if you write some selector which pass through Sigil engine, obviously it will increase the time of execution. So that is means the performance issue. So better to avoid selector which pass through the Sigil engine. So when you write this that pseudo selector, better you follow left to right. Left to right means I want to find some td, so I will be start with table, tr, td like that. But again I can found it right to left as well. Like the second one, you see here I write that p has intro then em. That is means I have a paragraph tag with id intro, and from there I am finding the em. But same you can write as reverse way, like I am finding em from p intro. So this is right to left. So better you avoid this right to left approach. Okay. Now the next thing is find. So it is proved like that when you, instead of pseudo selector, when you use find, you know that the jQuery provides a find function. So find means when from group of element you want to find a particular element. So that time you use find, and so that is also we can use any of the selector like left to right, right to left, anything. But if you use find, so find is always faster. Okay. So use find instead of specificity and explicit context. The key is to stray away from forcing jQuery to use Sigil engine. That is what we discussed. So here you see that one line of code I written some div p dot some class dot height, and the same code I can be write like some div find p dot some class dot height. So both are the same, but the second one is the fastest. Okay. So let's do some performance testing. Okay. Here is the link. Okay, you see I write some code. This is a nav. Inside the nav you see I have ul li, that's it. And I just included my jQuery over here. And this is the output of the code. And I write few syntax over. This is my all the test code. Okay. So first one is very straightforward. You see nav bar. This is the ID. Then find. Then last dot height. This is another one nav bar. Then find li last. So this is find with again pseudo selector. This is you see left to right, and this is right to left. Okay. So run this test. Okay. Let's see. I am running this test. It's running. So it will give you like how the selector perform, means every operation perform per second for each selector. Okay. Okay. You see this find. I have all this. There is never sigil engine. This is the first test. Within a second it runs more than 29,000. Okay. And slowest one you see right to left, it is 50,000. Second first test is the this one, because I have find, inside the find I am having again pseudo selector, and that the second slowest is the this one. So this is left to right. So it's proved like that left to right is better than right to left, and when you have a nested find it is always better. It's never involve the sigil engine. Okay. Yeah. Pseudo selector means one by one when you write, you see nav bar, li last, all this. This is all this I am doing. All this nested selector. Okay. Okay. Then the next thing is like that. When you use some selector, you just cache it. Okay. So you can relate it to the real life example, like the image I put it over here. So think like that. A lion get injured in forest. Okay, and you need to treat him. So what you will do? So when you treat a lion, that medication may went for 15 days, 20 days. So every day you went to the jungle, you catch the lion, give him an injection, then release him. Again next day you go catch him, bring him up, give the injection, release it. But during the medication, you just catch the lion once, put him in a cage, complete the medication and release it. Okay, then what's the benefit? You don't need to waste all your time and energy to catching the lion every day. So you just catch the lion once, complete it and release it. So same as when we run some selector, you just keep filtering from the entire document and try to find it. So if I need to do multiple operations on the same selector, so you just catch that selector and run all these operations instead of picking those same selector again and again. Okay. So here you see the code, like I have an element and I am just running 3 different functions. Okay. So every time I am picking it out and I am writing. And another one is I catch the element. So element I take it, this is my catching, and then on that object I am running this. Okay. So again I built an performance testing, and you can see like how the performance varied. Okay. So okay. This is okay. Yes, this is not. This is one catch query. Okay. Okay, yeah, this is the one. So here you see I am just running some loop and do these things. Here my query is cached and here my query is not. So every time I am doing it. So see this one. So both code are similar, only the query is cached over here and here it is not cached. But other than that, all the code is similar. Okay. Ah God, it is just showing it is slower, but it's not. Let's run it again. sometimes this also gives problem, but it will come correct. Because this is I am running from a different server, so it also depends on my network, all these things. So sometimes it's also went wrong. Yeah, now it comes perfect. So now it's around. So when you catch the selector, it always a faster one. Okay, even if the variance is very marginal, but think like that. This is I have only one selector, but when you write the code, we have thousands of selector, and on thousands of selector, if you have this much variance at the end, you will be saving up almost 1 second or 2 seconds. And loading one page, web page loading 1 second, 2 seconds is very huge. That performance enhancement is very huge. So we should follow this. Means we should always catch the query. Then the chaining. Okay, that is the beauty of jQuery code. Like when we need to fire multiple event or function, we just chain it. Like on the same object, we can call it one by one. So that is the beauty of jQuery code. And I think also you can relate it. Like I can just type the elephant with single of the ring, but better is from all the ring I create a chain and just burn the elephant. So that is like that. Elephant is your selector. Okay, and all this ring, or you see, these are your functions. So those functions you can call one upon another. Okay, so that is chaining. So here you see again the same example, like how the chaining works. I have the object of the element and I call the function on the each element one by one, but here I use the chaining and I do this. So again, if you see the chaining, you can see the performance variance also. So this is again the same code, and you see this is used as chaining, and this code doesn't have any chaining. So I did write the same code using chaining, and this is not using any chain. And this is the output of my code. This is generating. Yeah, this will generate lots of HTML. And at the end, it will be end of. Okay, let's complete it. Okay. So see, chaining runs 307 per second, and when we have a individual element, it runs 132 per second. So again, this variance. So this is saying 26% more efficient than this one. Okay, so better to go for the chaining. Then the group me. So when you when you run same function of multiple element, then running the same function on multiple element one by one, you just group the selector into one and run the function over there. Okay, so you just running the function once on multiple element at a time. So that will be your less number of code, and your code will be also having high performance. So that is also we can see like how the performance varied from this. So this is like that individual selector, and this is like group of selector, this one, and see. So both are same code, and one is using chaining, another not using any chain. That is individual selector. Oh sorry, one is using group selector, another is not. So again, it is so that when you have the group selector, even both are doing the same thing. It is having all the group of elements and firing the same function. And again this one, again in the backend, what happened when you have a group of element, jQuery engine try to find it all these elements one by one. Like here it is finding. So both these are same. Like here also jQuery will try to find one by one, but that hide function, it will run only once. Here this hide function running 3, but it is running only once on all these group of elements. So that is the difference. Other than that finding all the elements from both cases is the same, but that executing the function is the difference. Okay, then the next thing, here I write DOM is not database. So do you understand what that means? DOM is not database. Okay, in the database, when you insert records, how it inserts? database can insert bulk records at a time. Bulk insert is possible. You are saying bulk insert is possible. So you are right, insert into then values, comma, values, comma, values. So that is for the, means you are writing some candy code. But really database give 10 lines and put at a time? No. It is run one by one, otherwise there will be a problem with auto increment ID, all these things. It doesn't like that 10 row at a time. The database pick one by one and insert. So that is the right like candy coding you are doing, but in the backend database is not running like that. But in the DOM is not a database. Like if you need to inject or remove multiple HTML element, you don't need to remove one by one or add one by one. Single shot you can get chunk of element or you can inject chunk of element in the place. So database is not a DOM. So here's the difference. Like when we build a bridge, nowadays everyone saying here and there everywhere bridge is building. You are seeing a bridge is building on that Rasulgarh and another one is this railway crossing. What is the difference between these two? Do you see the difference? No? So the railway crossing bridge they are building, they are doing everything over there. Okay? But that national highway, the bridge is they are building, they are doing the minimal thing and other thing they are getting done from other place and just installed over here. So that process is more faster. Okay? So that process create less problem, less traffic blocking, all these things. But this one you see, almost every day they block the road. They are doing everything on the road. Okay? So this is the difference. Like I am building a bridge, I am doing everything in the same place, and another is like that. I am doing the minimum thing and I am getting like this is how the Rasulgarh bridge is building. They are doing all these things other place and bring it back and install it over there. So this is also the DOM. Like when you need to inject some HTML, instead of injecting all these HTML one by one, you just create your HTML and at the end you just put into your HTML. Okay? So that is that no iterative DOM manipulation. So here you see, I have a select and I am generating my select option dynamically. So we can do one thing, maybe think like that my select option are coming from an array. It's maybe JSON or array whatever, and I am reading my JSON. I am getting all the option one by one and appending to my select. Or what else I can do? I can get all the options, create the option string. At the end, I just append to the select. So both will be same. At the end user will be seeing the same thing, but there is a performance variance. So things like that. When we do that append in the loop, it calls that append function every time, even if you have cached the selector. But append is firing every time. And when you appending, that means when you do the HTML manipulation, when you doing HTML inject or remove, those are very heavy process. Okay, those are heavy process. Those are very time taking. And don't think like that. I am saying that heavy process means it will the difference of minutes. Okay, if your web page loads in minutes, then that is not a web page. Okay, so when we discuss about the web page, we consider the milliseconds. Okay, we consider the milliseconds. So here, even if there is a millisecond make difference, then also that makes sense. We should go for that code which take less milliseconds. Okay, so better to do all this HTML injection outside the loop instead of calling it again and again. So first one you see, I am just appending inside the loop, and second one I am just creating a string and I append it outside the loop. Okay, so let's see. I create again another demo over here. So you see, I take an option like color, red, value, all this. Okay, so this is my JSON array, and I have this select. Okay, I have three options. Where first one, I cache the query inside loop, I append. Okay, second one, I didn't cache the query without catching, and third one, I cache the query and appending outside the loop. Okay, all three options. And let's start the loop. Okay. So this is the output. Okay. So green was the fastest one, red one was the slowest one. So you see the variance. When I did append outside, same code, same option, same thing. It runs almost 7,500 times in a second. And when I did append inside with catch query, but inside loop, it is like 1900. So it's too much of variance. You see, this is 74% slower. And when I don't have cached query, so this is 1800. So these two have very less margin, but here the difference is very huge. So always try to do means as less as HTML operation. Okay. So as here we reduce it by doing outside the loop. Okay.
Is there any limit of what memory size limit of JS variable that you can running it in loop?
No, till now I don't have any. I don't found any issue, or even I don't have any idea.
Okay,
It is the browser memory limit available to that browser.
Even I don't have any issue.
Yes, it has limits. Memory limits is the limits
That JavaScript doesn't know. That is the browser own limit. But I don't see the JavaScript limit certain thing.
No, say I'm inserting some options, like some thousands of options.
Yeah.
I'm creating the variable in loop.
JavaScript, that's what I was saying. JavaScript don't have any issue with those variable size.
Yes,
Now,
there is also a JavaScript execution limit in the browser.
that is I don't know.
Sometimes when you are working, you must have seen that console.
Yeah, that is coming like that. If his loop is never ending or script is running, the JavaScript asks you to continue that script or stop it.
So
Because JavaScript browser suspect like that, maybe something wrong, and because of that it's running and it is blocking your browser. So that is just a confirmation. You want to continue or you want to
that's
stop.
the JavaScript execution limit that you can set in the browser's config also. So there is a limit like we have in this.
But that every limit you are asking, I don't know, because I don't find. Then there is a very new function that is called detach. Okay, do you know what is detach? Anyone knows remove? What remove does? So remove means when you try to like append, remove is the reverse of append. When you try to remove some HTML, you use remove.
In case of detach, it detaches, but the events are not deleted.
Not events. Yeah, detach means it is similar to remove. Okay, detach used to remove, but that thing you remove, it doesn't remove. It is removed from your visible thing, but it doesn't remove from the web page. It's still present. So if you remove, you are lost. You never get it back. But detach means if you remove it, in the future you can get it back. So jQuery handle it. If you detach means that thing will be removed from your user will not able to view it. That visible thing it will be removed, but jQuery handle it certain way. It will be present in the page. So in future you can use it. So no, hide means that is visibility change. But when you detach means from your web page you think it is taken away, but not thrown away. Remove means is taken away and throw it.
It is it is detaching the element from the DOM tree.
Yeah.
But it is not detaching the events associated with that one. So if we
Yes,
will add
not
that
even means that DOM tree remove it. If jQuery keep it separate as an object. So in future, unless until you reload the page, it is available there. So you can get it back. That object will be available. Okay. Same like that. If I create a variable, so when you reload the page, variable get initialized. Other than that, variable will be available. So same way it's handled like that. So detach. So when we do, suppose thing like that, I have a table. Okay, and in the table, I need to add thousands of rows. So I will keep adding. So it is like that. Okay, I am running in the web page. It is again finding, filtering the DOM tree, adding. So the best way is like that. You just detach the table. Okay. So here I did. You see my table. Then I take the parent. Means when I need to attach it, I need to know where to attach it. So I just take the parent. That parent equal table.parent, whatever. I don't know what is the parent. Because I get the parent means when I attach it, I will again attach to the parent. Then I get the table object. In the table object, I am adding lots of rows. Then when it is done, I am just appending it back where it was. So that time what happened? You just keep separated to the table. It is now not present in the DOM. So when you do your operation, it will not affect your DOM tree. It will not scan all the page. Just the object you have, it is just doing over there, and you get it back. So it is that much faster, and it is the latest advanced one. Okay. So you can, every time you do append, you just do detach and do append over there and get it back. Now, the next thing that the best flexibility we have, we do all these CSS changes, styling, all these things using JQuery, because JQuery provide a CSS function. Okay, so we can do every CSS modification using this function. But there are some performance issue with all these CSS. Now the CSS3 comes, so now CSS3 is very advanced. So every time, everywhere you can see, everyone is advising you to use that core CSS styling instead of all these CSS functions. When you use that all CSS styling, those are more faster than jQuery CSS function. Still, sometime we need to write some conditional code, all these things, manipulation, we need to use it. So there also we have a room of improvement. Okay. So let's see. So better, like I think like CSS also support two ways. Like in that, when you use CSS, you can pass each and every element as a comma separated string, or if you can pass it as a map. Map means it is a key value pair. Okay. So that if you need to change the CSS property of an element more than one, so better calling CSS function one and again, better to use a map, create a map and pass it like that. So you see, in the same element we are setting the CSS property one by one, but here in a single shot I passed the map of these things and I set it up. So let's see that how the performance differs. Okay, so this is a simple HTML I write over here. Okay, I have only one div and div ID, and I write the same code, one with CSS calling again and again, and one is with the map. And you will see they are saying both are good, but still you see this one with that map, it is running less. Okay, so it is saying, oh, which one is good? Both are good, so it is saying this one is fast, but it's not the case. Let's run it again. Okay, again these are marginal, but still this is showing the fastest one when I have the map. And things like that, all browser has their own JavaScript engine. Okay, so it's not like that how Mozilla will treat a code, Chrome will going to treat the same way, or IE is going to the same way. It's not like that. So same performance testing, if you run on different ways and different browser, it will be varied. But it's not like that. Varied means there will be performance varied, but it is not going to give the reverse result. So it will not say like that what Mozilla say good, Chrome will be saying that is bad. It is not like that. It will give the same result, but variance will be different. Okay, because of own browser, each and every browser has their own JavaScript engine. Okay, now sometimes we need to write some conditional CSS script. Like suppose you see a div, then I have something code like if this condition, then we need to write this. If this condition, then other conditional CSS. Okay, so in this case, how you handle it? Because there you cannot pass a map, because all these are conditional. You see, something is true, then I am setting this. If something again true, I am setting this. Okay, so there is no way to pass a map. So here what we can do, based upon the condition we can create the map. So this is the approach. Like you see, I take an array CSS, then color this, and if it is true, then I am just pushing this option to the map. Again this map, then at the end I am calling this and passing that map to over here. Okay, now then all these are the approach, but that advisable thing is like that you should write all the CSS class in the style with all the permutation combination, and you just add or removing class instead of doing any CSS manipulation. So if you do add remove class, those are faster. So write your core CSS styling and keep adding or removing classes based upon your condition. So those are also more performance, they have less performance issues against this. Okay, and now the best approach is like that, this one. When we need to do some element styling, better you should create a style tag. You see, I create a style tag, and there I write style for my div, and then I append it to my body, or sorry, append it to my HTML head. So this is not the inline, this will not be added as a inline CSS. When we write CSS, those CSS is going to be added as a inline CSS to the element. But this is not going to be an inline CSS. This will be like you are having style tag at your head. So by this way you can add it. And it is suggested like that if you are going to add same style for more than 20 elements, then you should follow this style. Because less than 20 elements, using CSS function and using this, both are equally good. But when you have more than 20 elements, this way is the best way. Okay. So let's say I created two fiddle with one element and one with more than 20 element. Okay. So this is, I am having one element, I am running it over here, and here I am having lots of element. Okay. So let's run it. So you see there will be variance is very less. Even I think this one will be give you better result. First one. Yeah, first one is giving better result because this is only one element. So this is give you better result when you have a only one element, very less element. But when you have a more than 20 element, because I use div, so in the page there are lots of div. Those div color also get changed by my CSS. So you see all the red divs here and there. You see how this one is the faster when I have more than this element. So I write more than these many divs I taken. Okay. So when I run it, I pass the map event. I have a div selector. So this is, you see, 291 per second, and this is 521 per second. So this is one I just added this style to my head. So this is the best approach. So you use style tag and inject to the head. Okay. Now, the event delegation. Do you know what is delegation or event bubbling? Any idea of the bubbling? In a page, suppose I have a div. Okay. If I click the div, where I am clicking, do you know? Where I am clicking? It's propagated back to all the parents through the tree. So that means when I am clicking a div, I am end up clicking entire DOM of that tree. Okay. It's not like that div I have a again here means what I can say, that is sibling. So if I click a div, I am not clicking that sibling, but that DOM tree, that div DOM tree, what? It's parent. So I am ending up clicking all that tree. Okay. So event delegation means when we attach an event handler, instead of attaching event handler directly to that element, we attach event handler to the parent element, and from there we delegate it to the child element. And how it's possible? Because when we create an element, we are ending up clicking all the parent. So if I have a click handler attached to the parent, so obviously I am clicking that parent. So from there I am delegating my event handler to the child instead of directly adding click handler to the child. Now we'll see how it is going to benefit us. Okay. Also there are some problems and how we can handle those problems also. Okay. So this is one block of code, right? You see there I have a list, ULLI list, and I take 4 ULLI list and I just attach a click handler. You see list, then on click I am just console, I am logging this dot text. What is the text? And this is my okay. So this is my all the list HTML here I created. Okay, that same thing you see, and this is the way I attached my click handler, and when my page loaded I added extra link. So by default in my HTML I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and through JavaScript I added 5. Okay. So now each LIA, you see list A, I attached and click handler. So and what it will does, it will logging the text of that element. So I am clicking on 1, you see it is showing item 1. I clicking on 2, item 2. Clicking on 3, item 3. Clicking on 4, item 4. Now I am clicking on 5, nothing. You see I clicked on item 5. It's not worked. What's the problem? Why it event is not attached? Why? Because I have list A on click. So here also this item is a anchor tag. You want to see? Do you want me to inspect? Okay, here I can inspect. All this messed up, this small screen. But this is the same thing. You see, this is the HTML I added. So before adding the yes. So thing is like that. When we attach an event handler, that event handler will be adding, that code will add the event handler to that element which are present during when we are adding the event handler. So once you end up attaching event handler, after that if you add some HTML to the page, those elements will not have the same event handler attached. Okay. So that's the problem. So here I add an extra element, but here I don't have that same event handler. So how I going to handle it? How I can handle this? So then we will delegate it. That means we will attach a click handler to the parent, and from parent we will delegate it to the child. So actually event handler will be attached to the parent, and when we are clicking to the parent, it will be moved to the child. So it don't care what it has in the child or not. Okay. So you see here I have the same code, but I delegate it. So here I take, instead of previously I take selector as list A, but here I take my selector as document. Okay. You can document or body or whatever you can take. Then I attached a click event to the document, and then I filtered out to the list A. Okay. Then I am attaching all the events. So what it will do, it will doesn't care. It will see when you click on that document, it will find is there any list A or not, and it will be firing the same event for the list A. So it works for all the element dynamically added as well. So here I click item 5, it will coming over here. Or if I run the same code, see, if I run the same code and just I am checking it to item 6. Item 6. Okay, item 6 I did over here, and I am just clearing out. You see, it's coming. Console it is giving output. Okay, so every time whenever you attach event handler, you just, instead of attaching event handler direct to the element, you delegate it from the parent. Okay. Now we'll see how it works as well, but and what is the problem. Okay. Now, so we'll go for event bubbling. So what is the event bubbling? Event bubbling means whenever we click an event or HTML element, it bubble all the HTML node in the parent. Like I create a div, so it is bubbling up all the parent up to the body. So that is called, like I am ending up clicking all the parent element. So that is called event bubbling. Okay. So in the previous slide you see that image, like how the event delegation. So here it is like attaching a big event handler to an element instead of just instead of attaching a event handler to all particular element, you just attach event handler to a big element and delegate it from there. So like that I have an event handler to that all this element one by one. Like I have a 10 TD and all the 10 TD I need event handler. So I will write TD on click, this TD on click, this TD on click, not like that. From the TR I will delegate it from the all this TD. So that means I attached event handler to the TR, not all to the TD. Same as, okay, here I create two demos and I will show you what is the problem of this. Okay. Okay. Let's show you. Here you can see I have 3 div. Okay. This is the most inner div, second outer div, and this is the outer div. Okay. So this is the first parent, then second parent, and this is the child. Okay. And you see, I attached click handler to the div. Okay. That means click handler attached to this div as well as this div and this one as well. Okay. And on clicking of the div, I am alerting the text. Okay. So I am clicking this. Okay. This. So it is giving me alert text, because inside the div I have 3 div, it is giving me the text. One alert coming. It's good, no problem. Now I am clicking the second div. It is giving I am here, second div, third div. Okay. Why the second alert comes? Because it's even bubbled. So here I click means the clicking of this element fired as well as this parent element fired. Same as if I click over here, the three alert will come. 1, 2, 3. Now it is going to be a create problem. Think like that. I have a table. Table I have a tier. So all individual tier I have a remove link. Same as table itself I have a remove link. So if I click a table remove, entire table will be deleted. Or if I click on individual tier, then that tier will be removed. Now if I click on one tier, then what happened? That tier will be removed as well as table will be removed. Then how we handle it? Its problem, event is bubbling. Okay. So that is, we said propagation means event is propagating, and we need to stop. When we know that, when we have a inside a DOM tree, child element or parent element the same level having multiple event handler attached, then we need to decide means where we stopping that propagation. Okay. So there we have a function called stop propagation. Okay. So here I have that. You see, I write e.stop propagation. So stop propagation will help me to stopping just bubbling of the event at the top node. Okay. So here I use stop propagation, and you see I am just clicking most inner div. Only one. So here I am clicking only one. Here I am clicking only one. So I am just moving or stopping the bubbling of the event. So it is not moving. So that's why we can handle. So even if you go for means I say like that, even if you have a parent, child, all element have individual event or function or click or whatever, still you delegate it, and at the right place you stopping the propagation. Okay. So delegate is always better, and you need to decide where you need to propagate it. Okay. Now there are 3 popular functions: bind, delegate, and on. Okay. So what is the bind? Yes, so binding means when we are binding an event handler to an element, and the most interesting is binding when the page is loading. So one page loaded, you don't have control over there. If you binding that element, then if you dynamically load any extra HTML, then again you need to rebind there. That same bind will not work. Okay. And delegate means that same thing we are delegating. And on, delegate and on both are same. Again on is that candy coating of delegate. Okay, same thing, delegate and on. But people are using the delegate and on, there is just a little bit difference in the coding format. Other than that, all functionality, everything are same. Okay. So we'll see. So bind means that we already see, like when we add the dynamic element, bind is not going to work on that dynamic creatively element. So bind we can use like that. Bind, then the event handler, or we can directly use like something dot click. That is also binding event handler. So that method attaches the same event handler to every matched element in the selection. It does not work for the element added dynamically that matches the same selector. So even if it matches, like here I use ID selector than LIA. So in future same members if I add LI, it is not going to work. But for delegate and on, it will solve the problem. Okay. So delegate is like that. It is the difference you see. When we use delegate, first is my element, first parameter, then the event handler, and then the callback function. Okay. So this is the delegate, and on is the little bit reverse, like on first there is the event, and again on you can do it like that. On you also you can use little bit like of bind, like your direct element, then on and click, okay, and you can delegate it also. So one can be used like bind or can be used like a delegate. So you can serve the both purpose using on. So first one you see member LIA on click. So first one is not going to work for if you create same element dynamically. But second element you see document on click members LIA. So this is the difference. Here first my event handler, then the element selector, and then the callback. So this way you will have that event delegation. So this is just delegate and on has the little bit coding syntax difference. Other than that, both are same. Okay. Now, many more times when we attach event handler, instead of directly writing callback over there, we call some functions. So same here you see I write a function greet, okay, and I instead of writing function over here I call greet over here. You see, I didn't write the function, then whatever I want to do like alert, hello, event, data name, I didn't write inside here. I call the function over here. Now question is like that, if you need to pass some parameter to that function, how you will do? Because here we pass the function name, then you need to pass some parameter, okay. So whenever you call some function over here, JQuery automatically passed some event object, okay, event object of that element or whatever you have in the selector, okay, and that event object by default consists some data. You know data property, okay. So I will come to the data. What is data later, okay. So if you want to pass some parameter over here, you can mention like that click, then I create a map over here like name, car, and I pass that callback function over here. So what happened automatically in this function, I can here event is by default parameter passed by JQuery. So these data will be attached, this data or map will be attached as a data of the event. So here easily I can get event dot data dot name. So if you need to pass some parameter with this function, you can easily pass it like this way. So actually normally previously even I found this is a problematic. I was not able to do a passing parameter. So that's why I keep ending up writing on click on the HTML element directly, like td then on click equal to some function passing parameter over there, okay. But writing those functions is not good at all. Even I think almost everyone were using it like that, on click then something then passing parameter. So that is that bad coding practice, okay. If you need to pass some data, you need to follow this way, okay. And then the second thing, when you need to attach multiple event handler to the same element, instead of calling on again and again on, then click, then on mouse over, on mouse out like that, you can call on once and then you can write down all your event handler like this, okay. So even on here JQuery takes a map of event handler as well. Now there are few events in JQuery that is called frequently used events, rarely used events. You know what are the frequently used events? Huh? Click is frequently used event. Click is completely depend upon me. It's my preference when to click or when not to click. Yes, hover, scroll. When you scrolling, when you hovering. So if you have an event handler attached to scroll or hover, like in a page I can moving my mouse like this. So you don't know this mouse over event can fire millions of times when I scrolling my page like this. But click means I know when to click or when not to. So that click event I can control, but hover or scroll I cannot control. So if I delegate my event handler for hover and scroll like that, and we see like that we are delegating event handler from that body or document like that, okay. So what happens when you add an event handler from the document or body, what JQuery does, JQuery try to find starting from the document or body and try to find all the matching element and all the matched event handler attached over there. So it is, we always suggest like that when you delegate event handler, you try to delegate it from the as near as possible element, okay. So if I am delegating for TDs, because I have a dynamic TDs, So better, instead of delegating it from document, you delegate it from tr or table like that. So don't delegate every time from the document or body. Okay. The next is the cutting the wire. Okay. So cutting the wire means, here I am saying, well, nowadays I think anyone using form submission nowadays, rarest of the rarer cases. When you don't have any way, we do the form submit. Even a few people prefer to use form submits for 5 upload, but now 80% 5 upload nowadays done through Ajax. So I think everything we done through Ajax. Okay, and this is the question. In the page we keep or left open lots of unnecessary Ajax call. How we left open all the Ajax calls? Any real time example? Okay, very easy. Let me. I created a autocomplete input field key up. I type a key up Ajax call fire, searching for server for all the string containing A. Next, I type B, another Ajax call fire. It is searching for B. But that previously Ajax I fired, that is now invalid to me because my search parameter changed. So I will be happy to see all the result consist AB, not the A. Okay, but these are the asynchronous call. No one depend upon, no Ajax call never depend upon another one. So it's not like that, okay, I call the Ajax A first, so AB should not complete before A because AB called second. It's not like that. This is asynchronous. No one has any dependency over other. Anyone can start anytime, anyone can complete anytime. So maybe my Ajax call containing A fired first, then AB fired second, but maybe I could be end up getting AB result first, then A second. Got a point? AB Ajax gave me the first response, then second I get the response of A. Then what we will have? First I will be showing the result of AB, then I get the response of A, then again my result will be changed with A. So my input field is showing AB, but I am seeing the result of A. Okay, shopping cart, T-shirts, I am filtering by brand. I check Adidas, search go for Adidas, then I check Nike. But before I get the result of Adidas, I get the result of Adidas and Nike. So it is come filter Adidas Nike, then Adidas comes in, page get clear and it is showing all the product format. So when we are firing this Ajax in a sequence of chain, better to when I firing the new, I need to check for the same functionality I have another Ajax is there or not. Very difficult how I detect. When I need to check like that, but same functionality I have another pending Ajax or not. If there is any pending Ajax, I will just kill that. I will kill that so that I will tell I don't need any response from there, even if it completes before this or after this. I just ignore it. So that is what I say cut the wire. Like when I am firing the same Ajax, I will be cutting the wire of that previously fired Ajax. So how will do? So we will do it through a function JQuery provide that is called abort. Okay, just I am aborting the previously same Ajax call. So how I will do it? So this is a function. You see this function, I take a variable called progress equal to now. Okay, nothing. I just on search key. This is autocomplete function. Search key of whatever function that this dot val means this input full value. Then this progress I am taking progress equal to $.ajax. So progress will be having the Ajax status. Okay. Then here the all this parameter before send I will be checking if progress not equal to null means progress has something. Then I will be stop that abort that progress dot abort. Means if progress is not equal to null means progress is having something. Means what progress is having? Progress is having the previous Ajax call value. Progress is having because progress is set as a null. Then this is the progress. Progress value will be updated only when Ajax get completed. So here I assign progress as $Ajax. So this progress is not going to update unless until this Ajax complete. So here I am checking before send. Before send, I am checking progress has any value or not. So progress is if have any value, that means this value set by another Ajax call. Okay. So if not equal to null, then progress will be this. I am just killing that progress. So when the progress will be updated, when that Ajax will be started. So I am just checking in before send. So Ajax not start sending yet. And when I have a success, I just what I need to do, and then in the complete what I am doing, I am just making progress as null. So like that, this Ajax complete. Again, if someone try to do another Ajax, then it should not hamper other, because that what I have the progress that is already completed. So I set it as a null. So this way you see, if there is a Ajax left over there with the same Ajax functionality, because with the same Ajax call, same page, same functionality, I am setting the variable and I am just keep updating the status. So if there is any live call, that will be aborted. From the browser you can see one Ajax is running, and if you fire another, if you abort, you can see that line get red marked. Okay, that is already there. You can see it from the browser.
Which one will be aborted? First one or
First one, because second one not updated. Before send I am checking. Before send means that parameter will be updated only when Ajax is start sending to the server. Okay. Now the next is go parallel. Okay. What do you mean by parallel? Again, that is the synchronous. That is the benefit of JavaScript. If I need to call multiple means Ajax function, we can call it synchronous, asynchronously. Okay. We don't need to synchronize, like one doesn't need to be finished, then we need to start another one. We can do same time. Think about like that. One, suppose we are three friends, we are at downstairs, okay, and suddenly we think, okay, we have a meeting, so we need to go to second floor, and in the meeting room we need to meet. Okay, so it's not like that. One person will go through staircase, go to the meeting room, then call second person, okay, I reached, you come. Then that person will come to the meeting room, then he will call the third person, okay, I reached, you come. Then we'll check, okay, all three are there, start the meeting. It's like that? No, all three persons same time we can move through the staircase, then we'll say, oh, we all are there, let's start the meeting. Okay, that means go parallel. But when we do go parallel, because when we have a dependency, okay, dependency means we have three persons, but we have three different meeting. We will be meeting in three different rooms. So we don't need to check who else there, who else not. We don't need to check the status, all three are here or not. Same as if I need multiple Ajax call which are internally or dependent, then also we can call it parallel. Like normally how it does, you see, like you see post page 1, then if it is finished, we are calling page 2, then if it is finished, we are calling page 3. So you see how the response, like page, suppose we have a 3-step registration process. If first one completed, we will call the second. If second completed, we will call the third in the Ajax. Like if page 1 complete, page 2 will be called. If page 2 complete, page 3 will call. So unnecessary page 1 waiting for page 2, page 3 waiting for page 3 waiting for page 2. So it is unnecessary waiting time. So here we can fire all the Ajax, and at the end we will see like that. We will check all three Ajax response receive or not. If all three receive, then we will run the success function. So maybe at the end, like if all three reached, we need to start the meeting. So we don't care. We will just going all three at a time. Then whenever all three reached, we will start the meeting. Like 2 person go through staircase, 1 person through elevator. So maybe all three are going parallelly. Then we will start when all three reached there. Same as here you see, this is we call deferred. Okay, this is we call deferred. So you can see means jQuery documentation. There are lots of deferred, lots of other functionality. I am not going all details. So this is a deferred. So this is a deferred is when. This when I am firing all these functions, $post, and then I use done function, all three responses. So done will be fired only all three responses received. Okay, so all three responses, then I will show whatever I need to show the end user or whatever I need to do. So that means all three Ajax processes will be running parallelly, then success will be fired only once. So these are not interdependent. So this will be less time taking, more faster as well. Okay, then loading, load function. Anyone use load function? Load function? No one. Everyone is in Ajax, but the best Ajax is the load. The easiest. Okay, there is a function called load. Load also same as get, post, like that. Same, it is helpful you to do Ajax call. Okay, but how it works? Load means when I am loading something in a document, in a HTML element. So load works like that. My selector and the URL I want to load. So that means I have a div and I want to load some HTML element from the server inside the div. So normally how we does? We call an Ajax post or get on success that div.html equal to response. Okay. Same thing can be written like that. That div then load that URL. It will be automatically loaded content from that URL to that div. So whenever you need to load some content in HTML, you should follow that load function, do load function, because it is a single liner, less coding, very easy. Okay. So you see that first one I give an example, result.load ajax/test.html. That means it will get all the content from HTML and load into this here. Same as if I need to do success callback. After loading also I need to do something like it will be end up loading all the result over here. Then also maybe I need to show some message like that or success. So I will do like that. Result I am loading the content from here. Then I am showing alert load was performed like that. Okay. Then the most interesting thing you see result.load Ajax HTML then has container. What is the meaning of this?
ID container. The content in the ID container will be loaded to the ID.
Okay, so container means it will get a Ajax response from test.html, then it will filter or find the container over here with the ID, get the content of the container and push it over here. So think like that. Suppose you have a web page, okay? Web page you have a header, footer, all these things, and inner content is your dynamic content area. Some place. So that your dynamic content area keep changing. So for that you will be writing another page for running. But no, you can use the same home page. You just give ID of that. So you will be just loading home.html with that ID. So what happened? It will just ignoring the header, filter goes out, means the content and put it over here. So like that you need less pages. Same page, or maybe I have 10 divs. By default I loaded, but at a certain time I need to refresh that one only, that div only. Okay. So I can get the content of all the divs and I can pick from that div and over there. So I have only one page. One page I am using as a entire page loading as well as that Ajax call. Okay. Now if you want to pass some parameter as well, like you can pass it as a get style with ampersand appending with the URL, or as a post style you can pass it as a map. Okay. Now let's see, I created a nice demo of that. Okay. How the load works. This is on Plunker. Every code I put on JS Fiddle or JS Script, or some code I put on Plunker. Okay. It's run. It will come. Too slow. Oh, I have very less thing to discuss. Not much. Almost done. Okay. Thing like that. This is my enter page. Okay. Oh, it's not loading. Still loading. Oh God, it's loading. Oh, it's done. So thing like that. This is my web page. Okay. This is my enter page. This is generated from through server side code like that. This is follow icon. Okay. Follow icon decided upon based upon this user I am following or not. So database field. But in a one page I am having all these. Now what happens if I click on this link, it will set a database flag in the background and it will be marking as showing me as a follow. Okay. So when I will be clicking on that, I will do an Ajax call and I will just show, from the Ajax call I will get entire page content, but only this content will be updated, you see. Okay. Though I don't have any server side coding over here, so same page I put page 2 as HTML. Okay, same code over here, because the same page maybe server side we put condition, but here I cannot run server side code. That's why I take same page as a server side code. And if you see my JavaScript, okay, here nothing else. I don't. It's not like that. I'm fooling you. I on clicking on button, I just changing the button. It's not like that. You see, I just clicking on the button. I'm calling a callback function. The parent I get this dot parent dot column. Then index I get parent dot index, and parent dot load page 2 dot HTML section index means which index I need to load, because I just give an index of all the div. So which div I am clicking, I get the div index, because each and HTML has the index in the page. So I have 4 divs means all the div has 0, 1, 2, 3 index. So I am just getting that div index, then from the server side page and that same index page content I'm pushing over here. Okay. So this page also have the same HTML as my index page. Okay, so suppose you see, I'll be here also Firebug, you could see there will be a Ajax call. So what is it saying? Not found. Page 2. It's there. It's I don't know. It's not working. Okay, I don't know. Instead of wasting time, because it was working, I checked. I created a big page, so it was tested, but right now it's giving some error. And no, it's not. Not page 2. I don't know, it is giving error, but it was working. I don't know why it is not working. But this is the way it works, okay? But I'll check this demo and I'll correct it up. So in that document you have the link. In future, if you want to review it, you can check. Already you have the link. Okay, and now the attribute and property. Okay. So what is the difference between attribute and property? I think I have a few more slides. I am very near to end. I know you are feeling bored, sleepy. Okay. Then the attribute and property. Do you have any idea about attribute and property? From here, I think you know what is props. Props. Yep. Everyone saying dancing on the TV using props, dancing. So attribute is the basic attribute, and props is the property. So there is very difference between attribute and property. Okay. In jQuery up to 1.6, there is no difference between attribute and property. Okay, so either if an HTML has a property, then you can set or get property using a TTR function. But property now after 1.6, they keep it different. So attribute now are not property. So sorry, if there is a property and if you want to get the property through attribute, then you can still get it, but you will not get the right value, because if property gets changed after page loaded, or after page load you manipulate the property, change it to different value, then it will not give you the right value or right state, because attribute gives you the value of the state when it's loaded. So that's why they introduce the property function. Mainly actually ID, name, these are the attribute, and properties like that enable, selected, those are not attribute, those are property. So like if I check checkbox is checked or not through attribute, it will give you the initial value of the checkbox when it's loaded. But after that, if you check, uncheck, all this keep changing, then it will not give you the right property or right active value. So this is the difference. So like here I put all this value 1.6, it will give you checked. After 1.6 plus, it will give you checked, and 88 all this. Pre 1.6, it was giving you true false. So these properties are normally true false value returns. So if you use prop now, you will get the true false value, and here it is written. You see, before 1.6 changed with checkbox state, but now we will change with checkbox state, but it will give you checked or unchecked, not true or false. But if you use property, you will get the true or false. Normally property should return a boolean value. But though jQuery had it from the older time, so they manage it through attr in the later version as a string parameter, checked, unchecked, like that. Okay. Okay. Then the hidden field. We use hidden field a lot. Why we use hidden field?
To store any.
Store not ID, store any data which we want to hide from the end user. Then what data we hide? What is the use of that? Why hidden field? Why we need to use hidden field? Why? So our motto is to just hiding something from the user, no other use. Okay, so hidden field come in the older time, like when we have only form, nothing else. So we need some value to be posted, but still we don't want to show it to user. That time, like if we use hidden field and if we do form submit, then those hidden field value get submitted because these are input field. But nowadays, really, anyone of our using hidden field only just to posted those parameters or just to get some value in the JavaScript. Just how easily we can get some value in the JavaScript to manipulate, like we can pass it as a parameter in Ajax or some condition we get it a value. That's why we use hidden field. Because nowadays, I think we rarely use form submit. But what is the disadvantage of hidden field? Anyone can see it. View source, hidden field. Firebug console, hidden field. You can see the, then what you are hiding? Write code in the console. Input type hidden dot each. Console.log this dot val. Console.this dot val, we are seeing all. No use. Then really we are hiding it. So like it's like that when we are hiding our face, we think like that, okay, we hide from everyone, no one can see us. It's not really, we are just hiding the face. That means I am not able to see anything, but everyone can see me. So hidden field is not the solution. So HTML5, there is a HTML5 property. HTML5 introduced called data. Okay? Everyone using data, I think. Even if unknowingly everyone using, because if you use bootstrap, all these things, nothing will going to work. Instead you have data modal, data button, all these things. Unknowingly using it. So what is the benefit of data? If you have a data, you write data means is a property. So data starts with data keyword, then hyphen the key. Then what data means is a global keyword. Then key means what the name equal to value. So if you mention data something then value, then from Firebug you cannot see it. If you inspect that element, Firebug will not show you that data element. If you do fetch source, view source, you will not see the data. So at least user will not able to see all the hidden value. Okay. So now if they want to get the data, they need to know the key. So if we have a data, normally how we get the data, like this is, you see, data column 3, data index number, all these, data parent colors, whatever. Now if I want to set something, then I use jQuery provides a data function. First is the key, second is the value. This is the setup. If I use data foo, it will return me the value of the foo. So if anyone else who just trying to get all my data, he needs to know the key of the data. If he don't know, how he'll get it? So maybe hidden field I have a name, ID, whatever, but still I can see it. But from the view source I cannot see the data. If I want to get it, I need to know the key. From where? Then I need to guess, because nowhere I can see it. So more secure way to, if you don't want to post some data, but still if you want to hide it from user, just use data. And that the function for jQuery is .data. It is both way, getter and setter. Okay. So here you can have a map of data, like you see bar, then my type test, count 40, like I have like user, then user info, then I have a array name, age, all these things. So map, then again this is another way, bar 1, 2, 3, data foo, this is the set getter, then data, this is another type. So but here it is little bit getting like when you have a multiple name, data hyphen index hyphen number, that time how you get it, this is a different way. Like you need to use data, then index, and after the space you need to hyphen, you need to remove it, and first character you need to mark as caps. So it will be index n in caps number. Okay. So if your key is multiple words separated with hyphen, then you need to remove all hyphen, and first character of the word needs to be caps. Okay. Okay. This is the, I think this is last thing, and this is the closer. Okay. So I am just going to close this with the closer. Any idea about the closer? What is closer? First of all, I am not going to say anything about closer because closer itself very complicated. It's a very big topic, and discussion can going on hours or weeks, you can say. So it's very complicated. But I want to say like that there is when we made mistakes unknowingly without knowing closer in JQuery, and we get wrong results. So closer is very easily, I can say, as per my understanding, scope of variable. Okay. JavaScript, the variable of scope in JavaScript is not block level. In the block, if I write the variable, it's not like that. That variable is restricted inside that block. Because inside that block, if I have another function, then the child can access the parent. Okay. So always parent value is visible to child. So these are called closures. Okay. Now when we attach event handler to the JQuery element in the loop or all these things, or set timeout, many more things, we made mistakes. Okay. So here we will see an example how we normally made mistakes without knowing closures. I will see. Okay. Okay. So think like that. I have an array of element. Okay. Array of element. Suppose maybe I am in the ID array. I have a key as ID, and in the element and value as some string. Okay. So I am just reading the array, picking all the IDs, attaching event handler, and passing the string as a message. So like that, on focus out, I will check something and showing that message. This field is mandatory. Easily. ID is name, please enter name. DOB, please enter DOB. So I will be taking an event handler. So what is the problem of that? So here you see, I have a var a dot length, and length equal to, I have some coding sample over there. So it will be clear over here very easily. Okay. You see I have a 5 anchor over here. Okay. So I take a equal to $, that is means I just catch the query, and length equal to a dot length. So I get 5 obviously. Then for I equal to 0, I less than length, I plus plus. Then I have a, then I pass, and on click I am just alerting I. So in the loop, what's the harm with this code? You see, all the anchor tag I am attaching a click event, and I am just alerting that rank of that element. Rank of that element, because I is passing 0 to 5, it will passing, so it will be show me 1 to 0 to 4. Clicking, okay, let's click. It's showing me 5. It's showing me 5. All are showing me 5. 5. So that is the problem. JavaScript doesn't keep the variable as a reference. JavaScript variable all are called composite object. Composite object means it is certain kind of combination of variable, function, object like that. Okay. Now I attach the click handler over here, but when I firing this click, that time my for loop get over. So I reached its maximum value. Maximum. So it is not like that when I pass in the pass that I over here, I reach to the 5. So it not like that when I have a click handler, click will preserve the I value specifically, because I have an I is not local to this callback. I is a parent one because it is written inside this dollar function, and inside this function I am calling I. So this I reach to 5 means every time I click on there, it will giving me 5 every time. So that is problem. Like if I have 10 elements, 10 different IDs, I attach event handler or whatever, and I pass the value, then it will be problem. Like we use set timeout. we attach two handlers, suppose one will be fired after 2 minutes, another will be 10 minutes. And if I do it like that or loop, then if I use the same variable with different value, every time it will get the last value it executed. So how we will handle this one? So we will handle it just little bit of changing the coding style, we can easily handle it. Okay. So here you see I attached a click handler, then I am put a callback over here. Okay. In the callback I pass the I, and in the callback I pass the j, and here I am not doing directly alert. If you do the directly alert over here, it is the same, but here I am returning another callback function. So this j comes over here as a local, and it will preserve all the j's value as it received. Okay. So this way, if you have a different callback, then you get that original value. So you click over here, you see 0, 1, you are getting the right value. Okay. So there are thousands ways you can handle closure. Like, let me give an example. Like, you have a loop 0 to 5 I, and inside there again you have a I loop 0 to 2, and you are alerting I. What will be the output of that loop? I nested to loop, I 0 to 5, then again I 0 to 2. In C++, it will be invalid loop. But JavaScript doesn't have. Then what will be the output? This will be infinite loop. Because when it is reaching to the parent, I is resetted by child again. So that is scope. First loop, parent variable accessible by child. That is the closure. Easiest way. But it's very difficult, very complicated, very difficult to understand. So that's why I give an example. Like normally I see people made mistake while attaching event handler like loop. So this is the way you should handle your event. Okay. And sorry, last thing. Last. Yeah, this is also very, very useful. Migrate versus no conflict, and that is the worst problem I faced in my life, because a project I am working on for last 6 years. It is using JQuery 1.4 version, but now we are running on 1.11 or 2. version. Okay, so 6 years before, whatever plugin I used is not compatible with latest version, and right now whatever plugin I need to use is not going to work with older version. So I am in dilemma. What I will do? That is the big problem. What will do? If I update my JQuery, older will not work, and if I keep my older, then newer will not be working. So there is a thing called migrate. Okay, migrate means you can see like that. This is the image. Migrate. When you migrating means you just keep left something older and you find something new. Okay, there is two ways. Another is called no conflict. Okay, we'll see. We can handle it two ways. So migrate is JQuery organization provides a migrate plugin. So if you use the latest version, then again migrate is another JavaScript file. If you use it, then what happens? JQuery will make you available all the older function is just removed from the latest version. So whatever older plugin has the dependency to the older function, they can get it. So it's very easy like that. You see JQuery, I use the latest one, then JQuery migrate this one. That means whatever function missing from this latest version will be available through this function. And this is the link JQuery that migrate GitHub. This is there provided. Okay. And another is using no conflict and using multiple version of the JQuery. That can be easy. That can be doable. One page I can use multiple, like JQuery 1.4 and JQuery 1.11 or 2.11. I can use both, because on starting we see whatever the latest I included, that is get overwritten by the other older. Then how I can use more than one JQuery file? So that is we will use it through no conflict. Okay. Okay. So it is just a code example I am showing you. That's it. It is a code example. Okay, here you see I have written some code and how I included two JQuery version. Okay, first you see 1.10.2. Okay, I included. Okay, nothing. And here also I don't have any condition, okay? No condition. Again I included 1.6.2. Okay? Here I am just putting just one text. $no conflict true. Okay? Then var.log I'll see, and then log.append second jQuery function. Okay, let me tell you, in the console if you run $.fn.jQuery, this return you the latest jQuery, what is the jQuery version you are using. $.fn.jQuery returns the version of your jQuery file. So here what I did, you see this, okay, let me go through this code, how I handle it. Okay, here I made a before no conflict true, then I included another one, then I take a var log equal to some log HTML element, then log.append I am adding second loaded jQuery version. Okay, it will give me the jQuery version. Then I took JQ162, that is the version, okay, that is the variable name, whatever I want to take. JQ162 jQuery.no conflict true, I make it. Okay. Then log.append I am putting no conflict true, then first loaded version equal to $fn.jQuery, and second jQuery version JQ162. So you see what is the difference. Now see over here. So here I have a no conflict I used, after that this one included. So it is giving me 162 because first jQuery included, then this line is not doing anything because this is loaded, after that this is loaded, that means this one get overwritten by this one. So this is giving 162. Then my next line is I create another object 162 from jQuery non conflict. So this will be creating 162 from this jQuery library. Then here you see I do only $fn jQuery, that is give me 1.10.2, and JQ162.fn I did, this is give me 1.6.2. So if you include two jQuery library, so one you will be using $, another one you will be using another alias you are using. So like if you have a plugin dependency of the older version, so instead of $, you will be using JQ162 dot or whatever that plugin, and if you use $, it will be in that latest version. So same way in a page you can have multiple jQuery version with different aliases, and it will be never get overwritten. Okay. Okay, I think I am done. Okay. Yeah, thank you. I think anyone don't have any questions. I bored you a lot.